Hey, Angel here from mynexttablet.com. Today with an unboxing from the brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. Let's get started. Before we start, check out my new Instagram account where I will always share a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Alright, let's start the unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. It's been available in Germany for, let's say, about a week now, and I got it for 229 euros, and once it's released elsewhere, it should cost around 230 US dollars. That's for the cheapest version with 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage. Alright, let's unbox this tablet. Inside the box we've got the tablet first, of course, and it looks very similar to the predecessor, but also a little bit different. Then we got the standard paperwork, quick start guide, and also the warranty stuff. Then there's an eject tool that can be used for the SIM card slot if you got the LTE version, which is available too, but I've got the Wi-Fi version, and here it's used to insert as a microSD card. Then we got the standard charger, and then of course a USB-C cable, nothing special inside the box. Alright, as usual, since I made the first recording, a couple of hours have passed already, and I did play with this tablet a bit already. And now we are taking a look at the design first. We're getting a 10.5-inch screen, and then we've got black screen bezels all around. They are relatively slim, not too big. Then there's a 5-megapixel webcam, and that one can be used to unlock it using facial recognition. I will quickly show you how it works. So there it's unlocked. There's no fingerprint scanner, which is a bit sad, but yeah, not unusual in this price range. This tablet is just 6.9 millimeters thin. So actually quite thin for its price, and it weighs 508 grams, which is not super light, but also not super heavy. We're getting a mostly metal body here. All of this is metal, seems to be metal, and then we get a little bit of plastic on the top for the Wi-Fi antennas. And I think the build quality is quite good for its price. The transition, like from the screen to the body, is not as premium feeling as on an iPad Pro or something, but it is surprisingly well built. At least that's what it looks like. On the back here, we've got another camera, which has a resolution of 8 megapixels. There's no LED flash. Then we get 2 speakers on this side and 2 speakers on this side. So 4 speakers in total, just like with the Galaxy Tab A7. And on the A8, the sound quality is quite good, but not outstanding. Like if you turn up the volume all the way, it can sound like a little bit distorted and the bass is a bit weak. But if you have it to medium or a little bit higher, then the sound does sound quite nice, certainly for a lower mid-range tablet like this. Then we get a standard USB-C port here, and it's USB-C 2.0, which means you can connect a lot of accessories, but no external monitors. We get a standard headphone jack here, which is quite nice, and we don't usually get a headphone jack these days, so that's nice to see. And then there's a microSD card slot on this side, so you can extend the internal storage a bit. So much about the design of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. You can see it here next to the Galaxy Tab A7, and they do look quite similar. But like the design of the Galaxy Tab A8 is a little bit edgier, not by much, but just a little bit, a couple of elements, but yeah, they do look quite similar. Now let's take a look at the display of the Galaxy Tab A8, and it's 10.5 inches in size, and it has an aspect ratio of 16:10. The resolution is 1920 by 1200, and text and icons do look sharp enough, but obviously this is not the highest resolution ever. It's fine, but your phone and many higher-end tablets have a higher pixel density. But still, I think it's fine for reading and watching and so on. Samsung says this is a TFT display. They don't state IPS anymore, but I guess this also is an IPS screen. At least the viewing angles are quite good. Not like outstanding, but totally solid, I think. Colors look fine. Not outstanding at all, but fine. All other aspects of the display are good, but not outstanding, and that's what we would expect from a lower mid-range tablet. Like everything looks fine, but not outstanding. I do like, however, that the screen is fully laminated, which is not the case with the Apple iPad 9, by the way. You can watch Netflix with HD resolution here because the tablet has a wide level of L1. Sounds like every tablet should be capable of doing so, but actually that's not the case. Some older Lenovo tablets can't play back Netflix in HD, and also the Nokia T20 tablet, which is a direct competitor, cannot play Netflix with HD quality. So this is something to point out. With a Samsung, you can watch it in HD. And by the way, the S Pen is not supported. There's a Samsung Notes app which is pre-installed, and it is, I think, a great note-taking app for Android. And you can draw with your finger, or you can get one of those cheap capacitive styluses, and they work, but they are much worse than the S Pen is. And again, the S Pen here is not supported. Samsung doesn't say that it is, so I mean that's normal in this price range that no active pen is supported. But you know, I just want to point it out since many people always ask with the Galaxy Tab A series. But no S Pen here. Let's check out the internal hardware. Inside the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8 sits a Unisoc Tiger T618 processor. That's a very unusual processor. I've seen it in the Nokia T20, and this is an octa-core chip with 8 cores clocked at up to 2 GHz. And we also get 3 GB or 4 GB of RAM and a 32 GB or 128 GB internal storage. I've got the cheapest version with 3 GB and 32 GB. You can see in my Geekbench 5 benchmark comparison here that the graphics performance is much better than on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7. So really quite a lot better. The single core performance is a little bit better, but the multi-core performance is a little bit slower. It is a little bit better than the Nokia T20, as you can see, which is a direct competitor, but higher end tablets like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, but also the S7 FE continue to be much faster, of course, and the Apple iPad 9, which costs around $100 more, is much more powerful. My gaming test shows that it is more powerful than the Galaxy Tab A7 because in PUBG Mobile you can set the graphics to HD and it runs quite well, as you can see. On its predecessor you could only select balanced graphics. I also played Race, which is a quite nice racing game, and here you can select high graphics too, and as you can see it does run quite nicely. So this is a nice gaming tablet. You won't be able to play many games like PUBG Mobile or Fortnite with highest graphics settings, but if you select medium settings, then it does run. I didn't try Fortnite yet, by the way. I'm not sure if it can even be installed, but I will try that for my final review. Everything else does run quite nice, actually. Like, so UI itself is pretty smooth, like surprisingly smooth, especially compared to the A7, and the browser, YouTube and so on, all that runs fine. Now let's get to the software. On the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8 runs Android 11, and I want to confirm that quickly. In the settings we go to software information here, and there we see Android 11 and OneUI in version 3.1. Let's quickly do this little animation thing here. Yeah, it's Android 11. Samsung has quite an advantage compared to most competitors because they release updates quite often and long. Like the Galaxy Tab A8 will probably get at least 2 updates. That was the case with the previous versions, and maybe even for 3 years. Obviously, I don't speak for Samsung, but based on the past, Samsung is really good with updates, at least compared to other Android manufacturers. Yeah, it does run Android 11, and on top is the OneUI, as you can see. Samsung has many apps pre-installed. The Samsung Notes app, obviously, there's the Galaxy Store, they have their own browser, a Files app, their own Gallery app, and many more, as you can see here. All the Google apps are pre-installed, some Microsoft apps are pre-installed. Then there's also Netflix, Spotify, and YouTube Music. They're all free inside the Play Store anyway, and you can just throw them off if you want to. I did install the benchmark and the games myself, of course. Sadly, there's no Samsung DeX, which is the desktop mode from Samsung's higher-end devices. But yeah, Samsung DeX only works on the premium devices, not on the Galaxy Tab A series. What I did like, however, is if you go to the display settings, you can turn on something called Edge Panels, which basically is a dock, which you can slide inside any app from the side by swiping like this. And then you've got a standard dock where you can change which apps are displayed and so on. yeah, I like that and I will leave it turned on. So much about the software. That's Android 11 and OneUI 3.1. Alright, that's my unboxing and first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. My first impressions are pretty good. Like, we don't get the best screen ever, but a pretty good screen. The build quality is not outstanding, but pretty good. The performance is not as high-end as on an iPad 9 or something, but for a mid-range Android tablet, especially the gaming performance is pretty good. And that's basically what this tablet is. It's nothing high-end, not even a high-end mid-range tablet, but for its price, it does seem pretty good. And especially the long software updates that Samsung usually promises, that's quite nice to see in a lower-end tablet. So obviously I have to really test this tablet now, and then I can tell you a bit more about it for my final review. But my first impressions say that this is quite a decent lower-end mid-range tablet. And yeah, I'm quite excited to review it further, because these cheap Samsung tablets usually are quite popular, because usually they're quite a nice deal if you're looking for something decent that's also very affordable. Alright, that's been my unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. If you have any questions, write them down below. I'm NJ from mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.